When is a good time to increase Google Shopping ad budget? So this video is for you if you are a Shopify store owner or an online store owner and you have set up your first Google Shopping ads and you're starting to get clicks. So it's been running really well for a few weeks now and you're getting sales coming in. And you might be wondering, when's the best time to put in more budget so you can get more clicks, get more sales to your store? Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, ROI doctor who helps small businesses and online stores to double the traffic and sales by getting on Google and YouTube page 1. Today's video is about when's the best time to increase Google Shopping ad budget. But this is quite a complex question and there are different layers and factors to consider before putting in your ad budget because you don't want to waste your money and you don't want your ad budget to be burnt up really quickly if you're not increasing it at the right time. And when's the right time? I'm going to explain what are the different areas you need to review, what are the metrics you can look at, and then you can use it as a point of reference to decide for yourself whether it's time to increase your budget. If this is the first time to the channel, you might want to download one of my free resources, the Shopify Marketing Guide, link in the description and pinned comments where I go to the pros and cons of different ways to drive traffic to your store, whether it's paid or free traffic, so you don't put all the eggs into one basket and only focus on one form of driving traffic. It's always better to diversify your traffic sources, especially if you're only running Google Shopping ads, because the cost of Google Shopping ads can fluctuate from time to time. So you also want to invest in other ways that could increase the profitability of your store as well. One of the things I want to kind of clarify about Google Shopping ad campaign is most people think it's really simple. You just set up the campaign and then you just let it run. So it doesn't really happen like this. So there's a number of process that goes into it, goes into understanding how the algorithm works, what are the changes that you need to adjust to your campaign, whether it's ad budget changes, or is it the optimization of your shopping ad, so you can actually maximize every advertising dollar. In fact, because it's not that straightforward, that's why nobody has really created a flow chart that can easily tell you, if this happens, do this. If that happens, do that. Sometimes you don't just look at one singular factor to decide. You actually have to look at multiple parts of the campaigns to assess whether it's time to actually increase the budget. What I'll try to do in this video is to simplify the analytical aspect of what goes into really optimizing the Google Shopping ad campaign so you get a better idea why some people actually think it's too complicated, so they actually outsource to professionals so they can actually spend their time better to focus on their business. One of the myths about ads that I want to really dispel so we are actually start on the same page is that if your Google Shopping ad campaign is not performing optimally, increasing your ad budget will not improve the performance. Why is that so? This is what happens. When your shopping campaign is not performing really well, when you increase the budget, it's not helping Google to be able to find more of the right people. Google just wants you to spend as much budget as you can on Google Shopping ad campaign. If your shopping campaign isn't performing well, when you're putting in more budget, you are training the algorithm up to be continuing to perform not well on a larger scale. So that means you're burning up your money. So how can you actually avoid that from happening? How do you make sure you're not burning up your ad budget for nothing? These are the few areas you need to assess. After your Google Shopping campaign is performing and you're getting clicks to your store and you're getting some sales, what you need to do is to review the performance of your ad campaign based on the benchmark average that has been shown on the internet. Some people have actually shared how different types of campaigns in different industries are performing, so you could measure up to that. So let us look at a couple of metrics that you should be looking at. Metric number 1, click-through rate. So click-through rate, which is also known as the CTR, which means that how many people actually click on your ad after they have been shown your product ads on Google Shopping platform. The average click-through rate for Google Shopping ads is about 0.86%. So that's the average. But of course, if your store is of a different industry, then that could differ. What I've tried for my clients is usually I would aim for about at least like 1% click-through rate so far from some of the clients that I've worked with. Disclaimer is that depends as well as what I was saying, depending on your industry, so that could differ. But if you just take that 0.86% as a good benchmark, then you want to review how your ads are performing. Let's say if your current Google Shopping ads is running at 0.5%. Then I would say there could definitely be room for improvement. You can improve this click-through rates by improving on the product image, improving your title description, and improving your product attributes so you can actually get more clicks. And then as well, when you put in more information, that means Google has more keywords to understand who to better show your ads to. I have a couple of videos that I go into depth on how to optimize your product title and your description, so you want to check that out. So link in the top right hand corner of the screen, how to optimize your product title to get more Google clicks, as well as what to put into your product description, how to enhance it, aiming for at least 150 words to about 300 words. So what information can you put in to optimize your description? Once you have achieved this at least 0.86% click-through rate, that could be a good indicator that in terms of click-through rate, your shopping ads is performing. The next thing you want to consider is that once you're getting those clicks to your store, so are you getting any add to carts? Are you getting any sales? If you're only getting some add to carts and you're not getting as many sales, what you need to do is to assess the trustworthiness of your store to see if you're putting up the trust signals, whether you've put up enough reviews for your store. For certain products, people will like to see more reviews, and to put in as much information about the shipping expectations, any taxes involved, as well as what's the refund policy. Let any potential customers who come to your store trust you instinctively, and they will want to buy. If your shopping ads are not really performing, you're getting those clicks and there are no add to carts at all, so you have to go back to make changes and improvements to your product feed to make sure that you are getting the right click-through rate to your store, and also to convert those clicks into customers. Another metric to look at is actually to look at your cost per click. So the average cost per click for your Google Shopping ads all over the world in general for all industries is about USD 0.66 cents. So if your cost per click is much higher than that, like 2 times or 3 times more of that, maybe you actually need to go back as well to examine your product feed, improving on that by actually submitting as much information, not just the title, description. Let's say looking at the material, the color, the size, the product highlight, the product detail, submitting as much information as possible. That could also increase the chances of getting matched to the right people, so you can actually get more clicks. If your shopping campaign is really optimized to the max, cost per click will be able to go down, because what happens is Google is able to show more to the right people. They are showing your ads to more of those right keywords that people are searching for, so you're getting more click, and that actually reduces your cost per click. Aside from you, there are also other competitors that are running Google Shopping ads. If your shopping ads are showing for search queries which are very broad in nature, let's say if you're selling like silk scarves, if you are getting clicks from people who search for silk scarf, there are also many other competitors actually bidding for this keyword, so that means you might need to possibly bid higher to be able to get your ad shown. The problem is also if you are getting a match for really broad term like silk scarves, this also means that the person is likely at the beginning of their shopping journey. They're considering a couple of different options, or maybe the intention is maybe not to buy the silk scarves in the first place because this is such a broad query. However, if someone's really going down to the details, saying that I want a 100 cm times 100 cm silk scarf that's red in color, having all those little details in their search query, it likely means that they want to buy this product. And if you have all of these keywords inside your title and your description, then Google's algorithm is able to show your ad, the precise ad, to this person who is typing such a precise keyword. And also because it's so precise, there are less competitors bidding for this particular keyword, which also means that you'll be able to most likely get a lower cost per click. The key here is to provide as much details about your product as much as possible, so you can target for those people who are typing longer keyword queries but are most likely going to become customers because they have such precise requirements. There are less people showing those ads too, so if you're able to do a match for those people, your cost per click actually goes down. Another metric to be looking at is actually the conversion rate of your Google Shopping ad campaign. Average conversion rate is 1.91%. So this could differ from industry to industry. If your conversion rate is really low, like 0.5% or 0.4%, so that's definitely something that you can improve on. So that would also mean you want to work better on improving the information that you have submitted to Google Merchant Center. And also if this conversion rate is really low, or your cost per click is really high and your click-through rate is really low, that means you need to work on your campaign, you need to work on your store trustworthiness before you actually think about putting more ad budget into the campaign. The timing of increasing your ad budget is also very critical. When you first set up your Google Shopping ad campaign, you don't want to be making any ad budget increases within the first 3 months. This is what happens. After you have set up your first Google Shopping campaign, it starts training up the campaign within the first 7 to 14 days. Once the clicks and sales starts coming in, you can assess to see where you are, benchmark yourself against the average cost per click conversion, so you start getting those first set of data information. From there, if your cost per click, click-through rate and conversion rate is much lower than the average numbers that I've mentioned earlier, then it's time for you to actually make changes to your title, the product description, submit as much information as you can. Once Google Merchant Center has those extra information that you have put in or those changes you have made, then Google tries again with those extra information to see if they can find the right people. That usually takes about 7 days to 14 days to actually see the full impact. You'll be able to see if there is a slight decrease in cost per click, increase in click-through rate, and increase in conversion. So if that's really doing well, then you can start doing the same things for all your products. I presume you have many products. Maybe you have 50 to 100 products or so. You can't be waiting to complete all your optimization work, then you submit to Google Merchant Center. As your ads running, you want to see results straight away. So what I usually recommend is split your products into the high price point, maybe middle price point, and the low price point, which are the most profitable products. Start optimizing those handful of products first, putting as much information as possible, so Google starts to train up the algorithm to show the ads to the right groups of people who will be more interested in your high price point products. So once that's working, you know that's working, you start implementing the same optimization for your other products. So you do it batch by batch, and then you submit to Google batch by batch, and then you can slowly see how the algorithm is slowly trying to find more of the right people who are interested in your different product types. Typically, after you've submitted more details into your product feed, it takes another 7 to 14 days to see the results. After you review the results, then you resubmit more information, details for each of your products. So usually by the time, depending on the number of products you have, typically I would say this comes up to about 2 months or the end of 3 months. By this time, you'll be able to see the improvements in those metrics that I've mentioned earlier. Yes, the cost per click, click-through rate, and the conversion rate. Other metrics as well to measure to see if your Google Shopping ad campaign is getting the right shoppers to your store. You should be installing the Google Analytics. If you haven't, I highly recommend you to install that. GA4, get that installed so you can properly measure and dissect the performance of your Google Shopping ads. This is a very important tool that I use to measure and monitor the success of the Google Shopping ads that I'm setting up for my clients, helping them to optimize. I want to know how well this campaign is doing. So these are the other metrics that I look at or use it to measure how well the campaigns are doing. I will look at the pages per session. So every time a click goes to the store, how many pages per visit are we getting from people coming through the Google Shopping ad campaign? And if the campaigns are really well optimized, you can gradually see an increase in pages per visit, because an interested shopper, if they come to your store, most likely they will not just stop at the products. They will be looking at the other products. Maybe they see other similar products they could be interested in. They're interested to find out more about your store. They visit your About page. They want to know about your shipping. They want to look at the sizing guide. They want to look at the refund policy. All of this points to a very interested shopper and a most likely customer. This will be a good way to assess if you're getting the right clicks, if you're getting shoppers who are most likely to become a customer. And the other metrics are to look at the average session. So the longer they spend on your store, of course, that means they are spending more time, they're really interested in, they're trying to decide if this is a good product, if this product really fits all their requirements. So the more pages they visit, the longer they spend on your store, this all points to your Google Shopping ad campaign is performing really well. Another metric that I use to assess the quality of the clicks from the Google Shopping campaign is the bounce rate. Bounce rate typically means how quickly the shopper goes away or exit from the store after they have arrived on your store. If it's 100%, most likely after they click onto your store, they saw something they didn't like, straight away they left. So that could likely indicate or suggest that your Google Shopping ad campaign has to be improved because you're not getting the right groups of people to your store. If your Google Shopping campaign was really optimized and you've done a really good job to make sure it's performing well, you can see that the bounce rate is going down. So you definitely go down from maybe 90% to 80% to 70%, which all points to that your Google Shopping campaign is really optimized. If you want to make sure you are maximizing all possible clicks from the right shoppers, definitely you want to check out one of my videos that go in depth into 13 ways to increase clicks for your Google Shopping ad campaign. So you can check that out. Link in the top right hand corner of the screen. It's a very in-depth video. I go into different ways of how you can really optimize your shopping feed, what information you can put into, what are the different attributes you can submit to Google Merchant Center. At this point, I hope you have a good and clear idea of what are the different factors you should be looking at and how to assess if your Google Shopping ad is performing optimally. If you can see after 3 months, you are seeing like a good cost per click is going down, click-through rates going up, and conversion rates is also going up. And the quality of the traffic as well is improving. People are visiting at least 3 to 4 pages per session. You can see that they're spending more time on your site. All of this points to it could be time to increase your ad budget. If you have been working full-time on improving your Google Shopping ad campaign, usually at the end of the 3rd month, this could be a good time to review your ad budget. Typically, you might start seeing this pop up on your Google Ads campaign page, which says your performance is limited by budget. Wow, that is usually a good sign to say that Google is actually spending your budget, you're getting this clicks to sales, performance of the campaigns is doing well, you're getting high quality of shoppers to your store, and this is where you can decide to increase your budget. So Google typically has some budget recommendations for you. Usually they have 3 tiers of recommendations budget, which range from between 2 times to 5 times your current budget. Instead of selecting one of those options, what I need you to do first is to look at what Google has tabled for you. So they will tell you how much extra money you'll be spending if you increase your budget of this amount, A, B, and C. And then also look at what's the cost per conversion. Is it increasing or is it decreasing? If the table indicates that by adding in more money for your budget, you are going to increase your cost per conversion, then obviously it's time to head back to optimizing your campaign to see what are the areas you can improve on your product details. It's not possible that by increasing your ad budget, it's going to cost more for each conversion. It doesn't make sense at all. Basically, it's telling you, yeah, if you spend more, you're going to spend more to get each customer, which is ridiculous. That means that your campaign is not optimized at all, and you need to go back to optimize your campaign. If, however, it starts saying that by putting in more money, you either get a 0 increase in cost per conversion, or in fact, by putting in more money, you're going to actually spend less per conversion. You are definitely then on the right track. So that would be a good time to increase your budget. Instead of selecting any of the recommended increment in budgets, ignore what Google has tell you, because Google just wants you to spend as much money as possible. What you need to do is to just increase your ad budget by 20%. By limiting your ad budget increments, because we don't know how profitable your shopping campaign is, there are different groups of people that they will show your shopping ad to based on your different product types. You want to carefully increase only a minimal amount, so then Google will be able to allocate that small limited increase to focus on the most profitable group of people. So this is how you can actually maximize the potential, performance, and maximize every advertising dollar. And once you have increased your ad budget, then that goes into the next step of actually properly structuring and optimizing your campaign further by even breaking down into different bidding budgets for each of the different product types or individual products. Typically, as a store owner, there are for sure different products that have different profit margins. So then if you want to start structuring your shopping campaigns to focus on certain products that have higher profit margins, now that Google's algorithm is able to identify the most profitable shoppers, then you can actually start subdividing your product categories, your product types, so you can start reaching out to more groups of the right people. If you're someone who don't like to put all your eggs into one basket, solely rely on Google Shopping, then you definitely want to download my free Shopify marketing guide, where I go into the pros and cons of different ways to drive traffic. I'll link in the description and pinned comments, so you can look into that and decide which are the best options for you according to your budget and vision for your online store. I hope that gives you a clearer idea of when it's the best time to increase your ad budget, especially if you're new to Google Shopping and you really want to drive more quality traffic to your store that turns into customers. If all this information was too much, it's all over your head, I work with online store owners, Shopify store owners like yourself who want to run profitable ad campaigns and get shoppers who are most likely to turn into customers to their store. So you can check out my contact details in the description and pinned comments. And if you found this video really insightful, useful for you, gives you a much clearer idea of what really goes behind the Google Shopping algorithm, do remember to give my video a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos of how to double your traffic and sales by getting on Google and YouTube page 1. I'm Clarice Lin, the ROI Doctor, signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!